Well, good afternoon, everyone. We are going to go on with our program. Yes. My name is Yuri Rashkin, and it's my honor to serve as president of the United Arts Alliance. Thank you so much for being here for the 10th Annual United Arts Alliance Arts Hall of Fame. Please give yourself a round of applause. For starters, I'd like to thank a wonderful Thelma Wilcox for giving me an out-of-body experience, for letting me enjoy music and eat at the same time. Thank you very much. If there are any previous Hall of Fame inductees, would you please stand at this time? And if you are a current member of the United Arts Alliance, would you please stand? Thank you very much. Who are the people of United Arts Alliance? United Arts Alliance brings together individual artists, both visual and performance, and many individuals who support the arts, but are not artists or performers themselves, and perhaps are creative in ways that we don't even know yet. Current member organization list includes Beloit Janesville Symphony, Choral Union, Heatwave, Hedberg Public Library, Edgerton Performing Arts Center, Janesville Art League, Janesville Little Theater, Janesville Performing Arts Center, Janesville Presents, JATV, who is kindly taping today's proceedings, McDowell Music Club, Raven's Wish, Rock County Historical Society, Rock Valley Chapter of Badger Courthawks. I used to think they were chart hawks, but they're courthawks. Spotlight on Kids, State Line Harmony Chorus, Sterling North Society, Stitch and Bitch, Studio Allegro, Theater Unlimited, and UW Rock County. It's an impressive list, yes. In 1996, several area residents got together to discuss the possibility of bringing area fine artists and arts organizations together to promote and support the arts collaboratively. The United Arts Alliance is unique in that many such organizations are sponsored or supported by corporate, school, or governmental bodies, but UAA has always been a standalone, nonprofit organization run by volunteers who believe in the arts and each other. Over the years, UAA has been involved in various endeavors. Currently, UAA sponsors Arts Fest, which this year held the first annual Janesville Area Creativity Awards while promoting the visual and performing arts. A few years ago, UAA established a scholarship program where we contribute a scholarship to a Rock County graduating high school senior or a returning student to help in furthering their undergraduate education. The UAA Hall of Fame was established in 2001 and has been held every year since to honor area citizens who have made significant contributions to the advancement of the arts in Rock County. Every fall, UAA solicits nominations from the citizens of Rock County. The inductees are selected from those nominated by an impartial committee of area residents who are knowledgeable of the arts in our area, but who are not active members of UAA. And we are here today to honor our 3 new members of that Hall of Fame. I encourage everyone here today to consider joining UAA as a supporter of the arts and events like this. For more information about United Arts Alliance, please visit our website, www.rockcountyarts.com. A couple of things I just wanted to mention. Creativity, arts, such important stuff. And all of you here are representing arts and creativity in some way. And it's important not to just celebrate the individuals' achievements, but also look around the room and see all of the people coming together and expressing their creativity and support for the arts. No matter whether we like or do not like what is going on in the world around us, I think it's a reminder that we as individuals need to step up and take more of the responsibility for the world around us by supporting arts and otherwise. So now a few words about the inductees, the important people, why we are here today. First is Kathleen Jelinek. Kay Jelinek says that her art is a way of life reflecting the joy of living. During her years as a teacher, mentor, and artist in Rock County, she has certainly shared this joy with all who have had the privilege of knowing of working with her. When Kay was a child, there were no art classes offered at her school. She and her sisters used boxes and rolled paper from her father's grocery store to create works of art. During a visit to Viterbo College in La Crosse as a college student, she toured an art area, and she was hooked. She decided then and there that she would be an art teacher. Her career began in Milton, and before retiring from the Janesville School District many years later, she found a way to bring her talent as an artist into every classroom she visited. Kay's dedication to the arts didn't end after leaving the classroom. After retiring, she became and remains very active in the Janesville Art League. She is the curator of the League's permanent art collection, which dates back to the late 1800s. She has worked hard to make the collection more easily available to the public. Though Kay now resides in Sheboygan, her commitment to Rock County remains strong. She has left a legacy here that will tie her to the area forever. Forever, forever, forever. Kay helped form the Children's Art Council in Janesville and initiated the See the Art program in Janesville elementary schools. She organized the Janesville Art Teacher Exhibit at Hedberg Public Library and helped start the Budding Artist Show at the Rock County Historical Society. She received the YWCA Woman of Distinction in the Arts Award and continues to support the United Arts Alliance activities as often as she can. Friends and colleagues praise Kay for fostering the love and understanding of art in thousands of students, saying her career is best measured by the love of art she has created for so many. Her generosity of spirit and her true artistic talent has been stamped throughout Janesville and surrounding communities. Please help me welcome Kay Jelinek. Good, we have stuff to give you. What's your name? Congratulations. Thank you very much. And this you can enjoy, but we need to get it back because either the plaque or the nominee goes on that wall right there. That would be something. So, but this plaque is yours to keep. So thank you very much. If you'd like to say a few words.
Well, I was telling people I've been doing a lot of reminiscing. And luckily in that reminiscing, I've realized once again how many people that I've had the pleasure of knowing and working with. I was trying to figure out how to say something really important and do it in an artistic type of way. My dad and I used to watch Bishop Sheen, and I always remember the image of the candle, the lit candle. And you think of aha moments, and you think of all kinds of good things having to do with light. And I thought, well, maybe that's what I'll do, because everybody can have their own little candle, and we all come together and we create something like United Arts Alliance. And then I thought, well, another day I thought, oh, we're all interconnected, almost like a track. You know, there's so many of us doing so many things together. Nobody's doing anything alone. And that makes it so inspiring and fun to be a part of groups that are so alive. And those are the people in the arts, all of the arts. And then, for 2 nights, I was babysitting a new gallery in Sheboygan. And because there weren't a lot of people coming, I chose to take collage materials and try to work. And then I thought, well, getting an award is like a collage, because it's not you that's getting the award. It's all the bits and pieces that are put together to make the finished thing, which is the collage. And so I feel like I'm lucky to be here, standing here for this, but I'm also lucky to have known so many people in education. Sue Peckham is a good friend of mine. And there are lots of you probably. I can't pull all this together in a hurry. But I've been so lucky to know so many outstanding teachers who have done so much, both classroom teachers and like Dennis Vechinsky. And art teachers like Sue and a lot of my friends, and way back when, Connie, when she was teaching. And I know I'm missing people, but I have to keep thinking ahead here. And so teaching has been a really integral and important part of my life, because since I didn't have art in schools, I realized what the arts can bring to everybody. And I chose to stay at the elementary level. People would say, well, I taught kindergarten through adult in the places I've been, but they would say to me, well, why aren't you teaching high school? You could be teaching high school. And I said, no, the important thing for me is to teach everybody, to teach creative thinking, and to teach everybody that's going to be a school board member, a lawyer, a doctor, a parent, you know, so that they all have some basis of the arts in their lives. I hope I'm not talking too long, but I have to tell you a couple things. When I was graduating from Viterbo with the Bachelor of Art Ed, it was at a time where people came to the school to interview you. And Dr. Shanks was one of the people that came to Viterbo, and he interviewed me. And he said he would really like to hire me, but since it was for a consultant consultant job at the time, they really wanted someone with some experience. But he said, you come back, you know, when you've had a few years of experience, and talk to me again. So in the meantime, I got a job in Milton. And my roommate and I didn't drive at the time, my roommate and I got on a train. We had high heels on, we were all dressed up. Her dad had worked for the train, so we took a train from La Crosse to Milton. They did not make a stop in Milton, so we had to pull the emergency cord. And I think we got off somewhere down by the Red Rooster, but I didn't see any tracks there yesterday. And then, you know, Milton, well, that was Milton Junction, and Milton was at the other end. And so my friend and I walked back all day looking for a place for me to stay. And I suddenly realized if I was going to be teaching at Milton Elementary School in the morning and the high school in the afternoon, that for the time I had between the two, there's no way I could walk. So I would have to go home and learn how to drive. So, well, I'm trying to pull this all together fast. But so we walked back and forth, and finally we went to the high school to Superintendent C.H. Dorr and said, there's no place we can find, you know, we're tired, our feet are hurting. And so I found a room for $8 a week. The first year I taught, I got $4,000. That's probably before taxes. And so I moved into my room with a radio, my clothes, my art books. That's it. No TV, no fancy stuff. But it was warm and cozy and fine. And I ate all my meals at Tom's, which was across from the log cabin. So that was one thing. Well, then I went to Monroe and taught for a year, junior and senior high. And don't worry, I didn't go many places, so it won't take forever. But the thing that I need to tell you is I was cleaning off, and I had an $8 room in Monroe, but it was a bigger room. They had a desk in it. I was cleaning off my desk in my room right before spring break, and I came across an application for the Janesville Public Schools. And I thought, well, you know, I threw it in the garbage. And then, I don't know what led me to take it out, but I took it out and filled it in, sent it. And I no more than got home for spring break, which was quite a drive. Well, for me it was quite a drive. And Dr. Shanks was on the phone. And he said, well, I wonder if you could come in for an interview tomorrow. And I said, I just got home. So I did go for the interview on the way back, and he hired me. And I joined Jack Hackett, who was an art consultant at the time, and Arlene Witt. And the three of us went to all the schools and worked with the teachers. And that included all the outlying schools. That included the cows crossing the road when I went to La Prairie. And, you know, all kinds of good stuff like that. And it really has nothing to do with art, but I think a person's art reflects all their experiences. And your life gets pretty complicated as you live because you've had so many. But I do want to just pull it together here now. One of the things that was most important to me at Viterbo was a 1-credit class in music appreciation. And we did often, well, I did often did interpretations to pieces of music, and trying to think, I'm losing my mind here. Who was playing the piano? Where are you? Thelma. Thelma has a piece I did as an interpretation. But I also carried that into my teaching. I had students work directly with the media, not drawing anything out, because I felt that if you're doing watercolor, it had certain properties. If you're doing sculpture or whatever, that those properties should also come out. And when I was at Monroe, in an art room, which I never, ever, ever, ever dreamed of having because we were on the cart and in kindergarten rooms, when I was at Monroe in 4th grade, we did a very, very involved project having to do with watercolor techniques and collage. And we did it to music. And what's the name of it now? Skies of Blue. Help me, Dennis. Skies of Blue. What's the name of that song? Oh, What a Wonderful World. How could I forget it? So anyway, I had 4 4th grades there. We kept doing it, and every time they came in, that music was on until I thought some people were going to kick me out of the school. But that kind of made up for all the years I listened to the Eensy Weensy Spider across from the kindergarten. So anyway, I've probably said too much, but I have so many good friends in Janesville, and most of you know I did move to Sheboygan. And the longer I'm gone, even though Sheboygan's a really wonderful place, the more I realize how many people I have back here that have been an integral part of my life. And the arts are not, I think they're like this for many people. They're not something that you do, most of you or us, and put aside. They're so important, they become a deep-seated part of you. And I know Connie asked me once about doing art, and I've taken a break on and off to have a condo built and to take care of my husband and things like that. But I said, well, I also think that the way you live can reflect you as an artist, and that everything you see and everything you do has to do with the arts in some way. And I think United Arts Alliance is doing a wonderful job interconnecting all of us. And that's important because all of the arts together are even stronger than they are apart. And I don't know what more to say except that I do want to recognize that the reason I can, I do, I'm missing something really important. One of the things that has been really, really essential to me is Janesville Art League. And it's been essential to me not only because of the love of art that's shared, but it's been essential to me because the people in the Art League watch out for each other and take care of each other. And when my husband passed away, they were there for me like nobody else. Well, I don't mean to make light of anybody else, but I want to say that they've always been there. And I have to also say that, Claudia, you got me into a whole bunch of work. when I retired, she said, well, I think you should get back into Art League. And then another time she said, now remember, you volunteered to be in the style show. And I looked at her and I said, you gotta be kidding. I would never volunteer for that. But I did it. And then kind of accidentally, I picked up the brown book that was on the edge of the, where the piano is, the stage. And I looked at it, and I looked at the art on the walls at the Women's Club, and I thought, oh my gosh, look at, you know, in the book, it was different because it was all there, and it was talking about an appraisal. So I think for 2 weeks I was on the computer looking up all the artists, and my computer was connected to my phone, so nobody could call me for 2 weeks. And the more I looked into it, the more I thought, wow. And then I started reading all the books that were handwritten way back, of all the notes and all the things that people way back in the 1800s wanted for Janesville. They wanted an art gallery. And the more I looked and the more I got involved, I thought, well, this has, besides monetary value, has great historical value. And I don't even know if a lot of people in Janesville realize what they have here. And then I was lucky enough to, my brother was going to St. Cloud, and Edgar Payne, who is one of the artist representatives' daughter, had been teaching at St. Cloud. And so and she was older then, and I asked my brother if he could find out where she was, and here, she was living in the cities, quite close to where my son went to work. So Ron and I, my husband and I, were able to go and meet her, which was really exciting. And I have to say that there have been so many people involved in taking care of the collection, going way, way back. I mean, so much has been done, and so many people have given so many hours. And Nancy Bell Douglas and Sue Borden have been curators of the collection for a long time. And I have to say that with Jan Hoop's determination, things have been moving right along. And I'll end by saying this. One day, Barb Austin took me to Madison to tell me the gallery again at Miller Farrow Gallery. She had some glassware and that she had gotten there and wanted me to see this place. And right next door there is a gallery, which I can't remember the name of, and it had paintings all up and down the walls. And they were more traditional, I think older, or I don't know, older doesn't always mean bad, but I'll say traditional. And as I always did, I asked him where he would have work done for restoring them. And as we stood there and talked, I think Barb remembers this too very well, all of a sudden he said, well, you know, there's a person that I know that I think that would really help Art League. His name is Barry Bauman, and he worked at the Chicago Art Institute, and then he founded his own restoration conservation business. And he has sold that, and he told his wife that now he'd like to do restoration for groups that couldn't afford to do it on their own for a lower price. And his wife said, well, why don't you do it for free? And so he gave me enough information so that I knew who it was. And I remember I was at Gail Hatton's house. I remember even what chair I was sitting in when I told the Art League board about Barry Bauman. But then, as you many times heard, you think, well, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. So we didn't contact him. Well, then I'm up in Sheboygan, and something came up about conservation, and one night I got online and I thought, well, I'll see if Barry Bauman's doing anything or if he's still alive even. So sure enough, there's a 25-page resume online, plus all kinds of things he's been active in. And I emailed him that night, and the next morning, wham, there he was, saying that he would be glad to work with us. Now, you have to know that that the thing that's free is his time, because there's no way that Art League could afford to do what he's doing without him volunteering his time. There's still a cost, though, and the cost involves, you know, putting on new stretchers that give with the weather, and cleaning and relining some pieces, and so a big painting can still cost $700. And so Jan and many in Art League have been working towards raising money to take the finest care of the collection that we can, and a number of pieces have been done already. And I am so excited about that, and I just thank Barb Austin for taking me to a gallery that gave us the name. And I'm going to end, well, okay, I was trying to do my tax form. I didn't sell a lot this year art-wise because I didn't do a lot, but I was trying to do that form. I thought I'd get online and I'd quick do it and I'd be on my way. And it ended up, I didn't do it that way. And so I thought, okay, I got to call Mike Milwaukee. So I ring up the number and thinking he's probably at home or with his granddaughter. And he answers, he tells me what to do just like that, and then tells me he's in Las Vegas gambling. I'm sorry, Mike, because you were also at the Grand Canyon. I could have said that. But it just goes to show what... Penny machines. It just goes to show what good friends I've got. And I'm going to end by saying that when I do come to do some work at Art League, I always, well, not always, but a lot of times stay with Rose and Jim Hewson, and so they help me do that too. And I really think I have to start paying rent pretty soon. Thank you very much for the award. I really appreciate it.
When the event is over, and when you're here in the future at JPAC, take a second and take a look at the wall. We have a lot of wonderful people in this community that have been recognized on the Arts Hall of Fame. Our next nominee and inductee is Janet Kassel. It seems safe to say that there would be no heat wave without Janet Kassel. As director of the 4-H show choir, Janet has helped the organization grow and evolve for 18 years. Beginning her journey with Heatwave as a parent, she took on the role of coordinator in 1993 and has since been considered the glue that holds the group together. Heatwave offers Rock County youth the opportunity to both learn and teach others skills that are useful in the arts, including stage presence and performance, cooperation, creativity, leadership, and communication. Janet has been involved with the youth in Heatwave at all levels, from one-on-one instruction to group leadership. She oversees costumes, scheduling, fundraising, and all other aspects of the group's success. With Janet at the helm, Heatwave has become a vital part of Rock County 4-H. They have been asked to perform all over Rock County and are a huge draw at the annual 4-H fair. They represent Rock County at the Wisconsin State Fair every year and have earned merit ribbons for the past several years. They participate in many United Arts Alliance events and were a charter member of United Arts Alliance. Janet received the 2009 4-H Volunteer of the Year Award for directing Heatwave, among other leadership roles she assumes for 4-H. Those who have worked with her would say that more than anything, Janet has influenced the youth of Rock County to become contributing, productive, and creative members of the community. Her strong vision and dedication to the organization has created a safe place for youth to learn and grow. She takes a glum, and timid kid and turns them into a smiling, confident performer, bringing out talents they didn't know they had. One Heatwave member summed it up perfectly. Somewhere underneath the shell of a shy 13-year-old, Janet saw the potential of the young man I am now. Janet is a true mentor and champion of creative youth. Please help me welcome Janet. And then there's your plaque, and the microphone is yours.
First, I want to thank the United Arts Alliance and the United Arts Alliance Hall of Fame Committee for bestowing this honor and all the work that the United Arts Alliance has done. Okay, sure. I'm usually too loud. And all the work that the United Arts Alliance has done over all these years. The United Arts Alliance is a very important part of Heatwave, and we've been honored to be with the United Arts Alliance since its inception, and we've seen it grow from little meetings in the Old Town Mall to JPAC, to this wonderful, magnificent group of people. And Heatwave has been an integral part of some of the events, and always been an honor and a pleasure to be a part of that. And the United Arts Alliance in all aspects has brought a richness and a depth to the community, and made the community more aware of the richness and depth of the arts that already existed. And Heatwave has that same kind of philosophy. We believe that anyone who has a passion for the arts already has the God-given talent. I say this before every single show, but it's absolutely true. And all you need is a safe place for that talent to emerge. Heatwave tries to do that for its members, and I know United Arts Alliance tries to do that for the community. The talent is here. It just needed a safe home in which to find itself. And I think United Arts Alliance has more than provided that safe area to bring together, to connect the disparate groups. And there's just such a great future for the arts in Janesville because of the UAA, because of JPAC. We have come so far, and there's a lot farther to go. But I think the networking, the communicating, the interacting between all aspects of the art, whether it's performance art or other art, music, painting, whatever, is just phenomenal. I'm a little self-conscious about receiving this award. It's really not my award. It really belongs to Heatwave. And it's really, as I said, it's not me that's receiving this. It's my Heatwave members, all the moms, the dads, the hundreds of kids that we have had come through Heatwave over the years, their parents, their family members, and their friends. And it's their hard work, their joy, their talent, and their commitment to the arts that makes Heatwave work. I'm really just the hook it hangs on, as I said in the paper to Shelley Berkelow, and I still believe it. And I'm glad to be that hook. But it's their gifts and their passion that brings it forward. This is our 20th year. I was a parent for the first 2 years, an active parent, and I took over as director the third year of Heatwave. And this year, we are going to be having special events all over the county and at the state fair, perhaps, I don't know. We do perform all over the state, but our primary focus will be at the Rock County Fair because that's our home. We are a 4-H organization. We're always trying to make the best better. That's the 4-H motto. We try to bring out the best in each kid and try to find each kid's talent and niche. Heatwave provides an opportunity for kids who we don't hold auditions. So anybody who has that passion that I described earlier can join Heatwave if they're 13 years old and a member of 4-H. When we find that special place that they're comfortable with and try to encourage them to try other areas. So we're going to do something special with the alum. We're having big events, so please watch for that over the summer. Look for us at the Rock County Fair and other places. We perform just about anywhere, about 40 times over the course of the summer, 45 times. And we rehearse all winter at Mount Calvary Lutheran. And it's through this hard work that the kids are able to bring their expression of the art to you. We believe, and I've told this story many times, but there's an old saying that if you're starving and all you have left is $1, and you have a choice between food or art, or flour, flour, buy the flour because flour is food for the soul, Well, art is that flower. It's food for the soul. And we can't move forward into a peaceful world if we don't feed our souls. Feeding our bodies is all well and good, and we all need to do that, and that's very practical. But what makes the difference in our world, what makes us a better place, what makes us all strive to know and love each other, to overlook our differences and find our commonalities, isn't the food we eat, but it's the art we love. It's our creativity, it's our imagination that builds peace, and it builds a better community and a better world. And that's what we in 4-H try to do, and that's what we in Heatwave try to do. And so it's in behalf of all those parents and all the wonderful, wonderful, wonderful kids that I've met over the years that I accept this honor. Thank you very much.
Our next final inductee is Dennis Vechinsky. When he was playing football for Janesville High School, Dennis was singing and acting in the school's choir and theater productions. After serving 2 years in the Army and working for GM, that's General Motors, for those who Dennis enrolled at UW-Whitewater and graduated with a bachelor's and master's degree in elementary and special education. It was during his time at UW-Whitewater that he and a few friends formed the band Southwind. Later, his sons would join folk music group as well, and the band would perform for PTA groups and senior living residences as a way of sharing the love of music. An accomplished musician, Dennis plays the piano and the banjo. After teaching for many years in the Janesville School District, he served on the school board for almost 10 years. As a teacher, Dennis would routinely use music in his lesson plans to stimulate the students' imaginations and to enhance their learning in all areas, as well as to promote a relaxed and accepting environment in a classroom. In the mid-1990s, Dennis co-founded Theater Unlimited Incorporated, TUI, a community theater group dedicated to producing quality live musical theater using local talent of all ages. Over the years, he has been an actor, singer, director, producer, vocal coach, character coach, and overall mentor. Dennis has always been willing to share his gifts, talents, and expertise with others. TUI members say his contributions have given life, breadth, and depth to the message and vision of Theater Unlimited. Please help me welcome Dennis Vechinsky.
Sorry it took me so long to get up here. I moved at the speed of dark. It's not by choice, it just worked out that way. Thank you to the United Arts Alliance and the committee for bestowing this honor upon me. I said I don't know whether or not to be overwhelmed because I don't know that I've ever been whelmed. And I looked up whelm in the dictionary today. How many of you know what whelm means? Aha, I see, so I'm one up on most people now. It means submerge. So I guess I've been whelmed, but I overwhelmed probably have to. I've been over my head a lot of times, so anyhow. You know, acting and things like that, I guess I was a born actor. I went to parochial school, St. Pat's to be exact, and it's about acting. It really is. And I didn't get my start on acting on a stage. I got it at St. Pat's in 7th grade in a play called Aunt Billy from Texas. Aunt Billy was a guy. Guess who played Aunt Billy? Now, the nuns at that time wanted me to be ladylike when I was doing the part. In other words, keep your knees together and do things like that. Well, during rehearsal I did to become the night of the show. I didn't. I had my legs thrown apart and crossed at the knees and doing all kinds of stuff, you know, hiking up and doing things like that. And I lit up a cigar on stage and Well, the nuns were mortified, but it so happened that Monsignor Delaney, who was here at that time, came up to me and he was still laughing and he thought it was just wonderful, so I knew I was in. And people want to know if I didn't get kicked out of school, and I said, no, I didn't. I tried to get kicked out of that place a lot, but it didn't work. So anyhow, I went into teaching. I taught elementary school. Now, you want to talk about acting? Be a teacher. It's beautiful. It's a lot of fun. I enjoyed every year I had doing it. I think I motivated a lot of kids to do a lot of things. Taught history with my banjo on my knee. Social studies with my banjo on my knee. And just having fun with my banjo on my knee. And it was a lot of fun. And I'm not going to go on a long time about this because it's just something I really enjoy doing. I wish I could do more, but right now I can't do it, so I still think about it a lot, and I'm going to get back into it at some point. I don't know what I'm going to do. There's a few things I want to do yet. There's a couple roles I'd like to do. Always wanted to, I want to be the bad guy, the innkeeper in Les Miserables. He is such a vile SOB. It's just right up my alley, I'm telling you. Yes. I have done more dirty old man roles than you can shake a stick at. Anyway, I'm not going on any longer. I have a thing when it comes to speaking. I stand up to be seen, speak up to be heard, and sit down to be appreciated. And I do appreciate this honor, and thank you all.
Our keynote speaker is coming up next, so Jim Lyke has made several appearances on the local stage, including the roles of Eleanor in Camelot, Cogsworth in Disney's Beauty and the Beast, the Cowardly Lion in The Wizard of Oz, and Bottom in A Midsummer Night's Dream. Could have been even funnier if you mixed up those old parts and roles. He has co-written and acted in 2 films, accepted into Beloit International Film Festival, Written Off, and Fruit Loops. For 6 years, Jim wrote the Like-Minded column for the Janesville Messenger, and years later, the Janesville Gazette website. A frequent guest host of the Stan Milam Show on the WCLO radio, Jim has also directed and produced 4 live dramas for J Backstage that were simulcast on WCLO. The first, A Christmas Carol, won a Wisconsin Association of Broadcasters Award in 2008 for Best Special Programming. Jim served on the Janesville Performing Arts Center Board of Directors for 4 years and wrote the original play produced by UAA that opened JPAC in 2004, Janesville in Stages, which played to a full house and featured over 100 local performers. In a project for the Rock County Historical Society, he narrated and wrote the script for Janesville in Real Life, a film originally shot locally in 1940. I just wanted to share my personal experience. About a year ago when I was about to host this event for the first time, I asked Jim, who is an experienced host and MC, I said, what do I do? He said, well, said Jim, if you do a good job, no one remembers you were there. So without further ado, Jim Lyke.
So Dennis Vechinsky walks into a bar. He's got a taste for some cheap beer, and he says to the bartender, "Do you serve hams?" The bartender says, "Well, yes, sir, we'll serve anybody." I was buying the round for you, buddy. All right. Boy, good thing this podium is low, otherwise I'd have to have Linda hold this for me so I could actually read it. But I'd like to thank Peg and Yuri and the UAA for asking me to be the keynote speaker today. It's a pleasure and an honor, and I'd especially like to congratulate the inductees, Dennis and Kay and Janet. I'm really thrilled that I get to do this today on the day when my old friend Dennis is being inducted, and In fact, I'd like to start my remarks with another story about Dennis. This one is actually true, and it doesn't involve cheap beer. As many of you who are longtime UAA members may recall, the very first event here, and Yuri just mentioned it, here at JPAC in 2004 was Janesville in Stages, and it featured performances from many of the performing arts groups that are a part of the UAA, as well as several very talented individuals from here in Rock County. And late in the show, Dennis reprised his signature role, that of Tevye in Fiddler on the Roof, and he sang If I Were a Rich Man, backed by the Beloit Janesville Symphony Orchestra. And as usual, Dennis nailed it. It was a stunning performance. So about a week after that, I received the DVD of the show from JATV. And when I put it in my DVD player, my kids, who were in elementary school at the time, were really anxious to relive a specific part of the show. Was it the scene that my daughter was in? No, didn't want to see that. Was it the scene that their dear old dad was in? No. The scene they really, really wanted to see and couldn't wait to see again was If I Were a Rich Man. They loved it. They were absolutely, I don't even know if I told you this story before, but they were mesmerized by it. And for the better part of a week, that was playing in my house every night. I still remember my son in his little boy voice, "Can we watch Dennis?" Boy, thank God he's not here. He'd be throwing things at me now for telling that story. But I think in some small way, the fact that young children could be enthralled by a performance like that really shows the power of the arts in our lives. It shows how much the arts affect and enrich us. First Lady Michelle Obama gave a really, really excellent speech about the arts not that long ago at an art school in Washington, D.C., and I want to quote from her here because parts of her speech were just terrific. She said, "We believe strongly that the arts aren't somehow an extra part of our national life, but instead we feel that the arts are at the heart of our national life. It is through our music, our literature, our art, drama, and dance that we tell the story of our past and we express our hopes for the future. Our artists challenge our assumptions in ways that many cannot and do not. They expand our understandings and push us to view our world in new and very unexpected ways. Our artists are passing on the gift of their magnificent example to our young people, showing them that if they dream big enough and work hard enough and believe in themselves, that they can do and achieve some uncommon things in their lifetime." But you don't have to be a child to have the arts suddenly enter your life and make a difference. Grandma Moses, the famous painter, painted her first picture at the age of 76. She gave them away for a couple of years, sold them in a local drugstore until she was discovered at 80. Now, those of you who know me from my appearances on the local stage would probably be very surprised, and will be surprised to find out that I was cast in my very first play at the tender age of 37. It's true. My first show was Midsummer Night's Dream at Rotary Gardens, what was presented by Spotlight on Kids, if you remember when it was performed out there. And the only reason I happened to be in that show was because I had a chance meeting. I was introduced to Edie Barron at a Forward Janesville Business After 5, and it had just been in the paper that Edie was going to produce Midsummer Night's Dream out of Rotary. And I made the offhand remark to her that, wow, I've always wanted to do Shakespeare. She enthusiastically encouraged me to audition for the show, and kind of on a lark, I went and did it. And if it hadn't been for her, if it hadn't been for that chance meeting, I wouldn't be up here speaking today. I likely wouldn't know many of you, the friends that I have in this room, nor would I have experienced the incredible amount of exhilaration, joy, fun that my involvement in community theater has given me. And that shows the power that just one of you, each of you as individuals, have when you're an enthusiastic advocate of the arts. And in my family's case, because of my involvement, it just snowballed. My kids, because I got involved, started to follow suit. You know, my daughter Corinne, in particular, has benefited from her introduction to the arts. Getting involved in music and drama changed her from a shy, self-conscious little girl to a young woman who is completely comfortable in her own skin. You know, kind of like Janet, you know, what is said about you with Heat Wave. I mean, that's what happened with her. You know, initially, she was going to go to college to study to be a math teacher. And one day, and I remember this very clearly, we were in our kitchen and she said to me, you know, I love music more than anything. I really want to make that my life. And, you know, I couldn't have been more thrilled. Of course, my second thought was, oh my God, she's going to move back in with us when she's 25. But honestly, I was thrilled to death. And now, and with the help of a UAA scholarship, thank you all very much, she's studying music education with her goal of teaching high school band. And her part-time job up there at college at Appleton is doing music and drama programs for the Boys and Girls Club up there. However, recent events have made her a little concerned about her career choice. You know, the news coming out of Madison and out of Washington is a little bit disheartening. You know, I don't need to tell most of you this. Congress is looking to end funding for PBS and for National Public Radio. The state budget calls for cutting the Wisconsin Arts Board's funding by 72%. Music and arts programs are on the chopping block at school districts. You know, Mr. Holland's opus is starting to look rather prescient. Sarah Palin was on television this week claiming that the government shouldn't be, quote, wasting money on frivolous things like the National Endowment for the Arts. You know, but the fact is, the governments of every major civilization in world history have prominently funded the arts. Because for one thing, it means jobs. Nationally, the nonprofit arts and culture industry supports 5.7 million jobs and generates over $166 billion in annual economic activity. That's according to Americans for the Arts. And the NEA is just one linchpin in that sizable economy. A study by the British Academy takes it a step further. According to the study, the arts and humanities tend to be marginalized as enjoyable but not very useful, but they need to be taken seriously alongside scientific research and investment. The Academy argues that study and training in the arts, humanities, and social sciences provides the high-level skills required to sustain an increasingly knowledge-based society and economy, and it does it at a relatively low cost. These disciplines represent an efficient and economical investment, as well as contributing to cultural, intellectual, and social enrichment and well-being. So there's definitely more to the arts than meets the eye. You know, the common perception of the arts, honestly, is that they don't have much value beyond aesthetics. A paper by Craig Johnson says that when the perceived value of the arts is increased, so too is a community's investment in them. And even when times are hard, people will continue to invest in what they know is the source of their collective development. With this in mind, we have to begin to seriously reconsider the role of the arts in our community. We have to begin thinking more about how the arts can be expanded, funded, and brought to new segments of our society so they too can reap the benefits of the kind of personal growth that undoubtedly leads to a community's success, a nation's progress, and a world's transformation. When more people know what the arts deliver, more will fight to keep them alive. And that's where all of you, all of us, come in. You know, I think Michelle Obama said it best. She said, you don't need to be a Van Gogh to paint a picture or a Maya Angelou to write a poem. You don't need a Grammy or an Oscar or an Emmy to make your work on the cultural life of your community a valuable one. People who might not have a single shared experience might still be drawn together when their hearts are lifted by the notes of a song or their souls are stirred by a vision on a canvas. That is the power of the arts, to remind us of what we each have to offer, what we all have in common, to help us understand our history and imagine our future, to give us hope in the moments of struggle, and to bring us together when nothing else will. That is what we're celebrating here today. Thank you again to Kay, to Janet, to Dennis for showing us the way. And thank you all.
of you. Please consider who you would like to nominate for next year's awards. Consider joining United Arts Alliance and participate in the arts in our community. And thank you for coming today, and thank you to you. Thank you.